Welcome back, everyone. I'm sure you know how this works by now, but if you're new, before we continue the story, please pause the video and go watch the previous episodes of this series since we're at the end of the story now. The link to the series playlist will be down in the description of the video. Now with all that said, let us begin. Chapter 28, Darkness on the Horizon. Dante and Violet have been locked inside a storage room of the Azrael Nova and time is running out. Their Pokeballs have been taken and they have been left defenseless. Dante waits next to the door and occasionally glances underneath to see if the guards are still there. Violet sits on the floor in the corner, her knees held to her chest, and her eyes red from silent crying. "We need to stop them," she says with a weak voice. "I can't lose another parent." Dante walks over to her and sits down. He puts his arms around her and pulls her into his body. "It's all my fault. I should have gone to bed with you that night on the yacht instead of going to Lucius," Dante says with a cold regret. "No, Dante, it's mine. I kept it all a secret. If I told you—" "No," Dante interrupts. "It wasn't you who helped attack Arceus, who was led on by that bastard, who went along with everything that he said." He pauses as his words settle. "I will stop him. I will end this." "We need to get out of here, and even then they took our Pokémon," Violet says, trying to figure out the best way to get out of this mess. "Not all of them," Dante says, a small smile crossing his lips. Violet looks at him in confusion. Almost on cue, Skorupi crawls from underneath Dante's shirt and onto his shoulder. Violet smiles, looking at the little Pokemon. "He never went back to the Pokeball back on the island?" Violet asks. "No, he was still with me and crawled under my shirt when the guards came in. He is our key out of here once those guards leave." Hope flashes across Violet's eyes, realizing that there is still a way to stop this. Dante lets go of Violet and moves back to the door and peeks underneath. He still sees the pair of legs blocking their escape. "Skorupi," Dante whispers, "pick the lock. We need to get out of here." The little Pokemon nods and crawls from his shoulder and onto the door. It uses its tiny claws to reach inside the lock. It moves them until the lock clicks open. Skorupi looks back at Dante with joyous eyes and returns to his shoulder. Dante looks back at Violet and nods. She moves over to him. "We are only going to give one chance at this. Skorupi, I want you to go in first and use Flash, and then you and I go in and jump them." Violet nods, understanding the plan. Dante cracks the door enough for Skorupi to fit, and it quickly crawls through. Once halfway into the room, the little Pokemon leaps into the air and lets loose with Flash. The blinding light floods the room, and the two men are taken by surprise as their vision is taken from them. The surprises continue when Dante and Violet burst from the room and tackle the men to the ground. Dante is the first one to rip their energy rifles free, and when he has the weapon, he turns it on the guards and fires. Their bodies twitch as electricity paralyzes them into unconsciousness. Together, they lock the two men into the storage room and make sure they can't get out. They get their Pokeballs off the table in the room and are ready for the next course of action. "Okay, let's make it to the bridge so we can stop this ship," Violet says, putting her Pokeball belt back on. "What if we can't stop it from the bridge?" Dante thinks, and only one idea comes to him. "We go to the reactor. Either destroy it or free Arceus. I'm sure that'll stop it," he says with a bleak tone. Violet knows what he means. Make the sacrifice to save Driftville and everyone at the Pokemon World Tournament. She nods and they head out. The elevator climbs further and further. Both Dante and Violet hold a serious facade over the fear they both are feeling. The elevator stops and opens to the bridge. Violet is the first to step off. Just after a few steps, a wall of energy cuts her off from Dante. He runs up to the wall and slams his fist into it only to be shocked by an electrical current. "Damn it," he says, looking at the wall. "Is there a way to get it down from your end?" Violet looks around where the energy wall is coming from but finds no way to turn it off. "It's fine. Find a way to stop the ship. I'll head down to the reactor and try to free Arceus. If you can't stop this thing, promise me you will get off this ship one way or another," Dante says with a hollow voice. "Dante," Violet says, her tone of voice almost pleading. "Promise me, Violet," he says, more demanding this time. She nods. "Good. Be careful." Dante turns, hiding all of his emotions, but one emotion makes him turn back. "Vi, He pauses. "I love you, Vi." And with that final confession from his heart off his chest, he turns and enters the elevator. He looks back at Violet just as the doors close. Violet holds back the tears she is building up in her eyes, knowing she needs to stay strong for this final task. Violet turns and enters the bridge. To her dismay, she finds that Darius Kane is standing at the helm. He smirks as a genetically enhanced Ditto takes its place on his shoulder. "Funny. Lucius said you and the boy would get out. I honestly expected you sooner." Violet raises the shock rifle and aims it at Darius. How do I stop this ship? Violet demands. You can't. Nothing can stop this ship or Lucius's vision. Violet squeezes the rifle's trigger and a bolt of energy is fired and it hits Darius in the chest. The electricity courses through his body and does not affect him. I designed these weapons for the Horizon Company. You really think I couldn't take a bolt from that? Darius says with a dark grin. Now I will do what Lucius should have done on Mount Coronet and end your pathetic life. He shrugs his Ditto off the shoulder and it lands with a plop. Ditto. Double team. Ditto mimics Darius's words and it splits its body into 3 copies. Impossible! Violet yells out. With the DNA of Mew, anything was possible. Even this. Ditto. Transformation order 243, 244, and 245. Each Ditto mimics one of the numbers and begins to shift and grow until they are the forms of Entei, Raikou, and Suicune. Violet takes a step back with her mouth open in shock. She opens fire with the shock rifle, but the bolts of energy are only absorbed by the Pokemon's bodies. This has gone on too long. Dittos, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, kill her, Darius orders. Each legendary beast roars out and lets loose their attack. Just as they are about to hit, the Pokeballs on Violet's belt open up and all 4 of her Pokemon emerge to protect her. They all take the hit and shrug off the damage. Violet smiles up at her Pokemon as she realizes the only way to stop this is with a battle, and she is more than happy to oblige. She reaches into her pocket and slips on the Mega Ring and raises it above her head and cries out for Garchomp to Mega Evolve. Their powers combine and Garchomp glows with power and takes its Mega form. You are only delaying the inevitable. Dittos, attack with all your power. Use Thunder Fang, Fire Fang, and Ice Fang. Each of the legendary beasts leap forward with their jaws glowing the color of their elements. Garchomp, take hold of Raikou. Tropius, use Leaf Tornado on Suicune, and Luxray, use Thunder on Entei. Flareon, be ready to use your superpower on them all. Each Pokemon leap to action. Garchomp catches Raikou just as it's about to sink its fangs into Tropius. Tropius whips its wings, sending the powerful Leaf Tornado at Suicune and stops it from biting Flareon. Luxray lets loose its thunder and it consumes the Entei and stops it in its tracks. Your copies are weak, Darius. I fought a real legendary beast. These copies couldn't even hold a candle to them. Now, Flareon, superpower! Flareon roars as she glows with the orange aura and leaps into the air. She lands on Entei first and kicks it with all her might, sending it back towards Darius. She bounces from that to the Suicune and does the same and again with Raikou. They all land next to Darius, and for a moment the Ditto's features are seen as the copies get to their feet. Despite all that damage, it doesn't even look like they were scratched. Violet notices that and wonders if the Dittos are capable of regeneration. I'm going to have to fight smart here. Those things may be weak, but they can take a hit. Everyone spread out and be ready, Violet commands, and her Pokemon obey and spread out across the room. Tropius and Luxray head closer to the walls of the bridge as Garchomp and Flareon remain close to Violet. Nothing you do will stop me. Now, Ditto, unleash your full power of your engineering. Use Fire Blast, Hydro Pump, and Thunder. The copies unleash their attacks and they're too fast for Violet to respond with a counter. The Fire Blast hits Tropius, Hydro Pump hits Garchomp, and Flareon takes the Thunder. Violet's Pokemon live the hit, but she can see that both Flareon and Tropius were hurt bad. I can't fight them separately. They are sharing the damage, it looks like. If I focus on one... The plans dawn on Violet and she knows how to beat this Ditto. Everyone, target Raikou. Flareon, Fire Blast. Luxray, Thunder. Tropius, Dragon Pulse. And Garchomp, Flamethrower. All of Violet's Pokemon let loose their most powerful attacks and they all zero in on the Raikou copy. They all hit hard and all 3 of the copies cry out in pain as their pink bodies show. The Raikou's body cannot hold its form and it begins to turn pink and almost melt. It soon is unable to hold its form and crashes down into a pool of pink goo. Darius looks at the puddle with shock, never having known what the feat is. As the pool of goo spreads across the steel floor, Suicune begins roaring out in pain thanks to the copy sharing the pain, and soon it too is melting into the floor. The 2 pools of goo flow towards the Entei copy as it is drawn by a magnetic force. They reach up the legs and form back into one. The Entei roars out with all 3 voices of the legendary Pokemon. Its body bubbles as the Ditto's own genetic code fights itself to determine which form to take. No, Ditto, fight it! Attack Violet, kill her! Darius roars out. I don't think so. This ends now. Everyone combine your attacks. End them. All of Violet's Pokemon use the attacks they previously used. Flareon uses all her might and lets loose one massive Fire Blast. The Fire Blast is made even bigger by Garchomp's Flamethrower. Luxray's Thunder fuses into a giant inferno and sending bolts of electricity flying all over the bridge. Tropius' Dragon Pulse adds the final bravado to the attack just as it hits the Ditto. The impact of the combined super attack causes a massive explosion that rips a hole in the side of the bridge and sends Violet and her Pokemon flying back against the back wall of the bridge. The rush of air sucks out all of the smoke caused from the attack and destruction. Alarms ring out and the lights go out only to be replaced by pulsing red ones. When Violet recovers and gets to her feet, she realizes she is alone in the bridge. Where Darius and his Ditto were no longer exists. They were either killed in the blast or pulled out of the ship. Regardless, Violet is thankful the fight is over. Violet recalls all of her Pokemon except for Tropius. She walks over to him and he bends his head down. She places a hand on it. "We have to go," she says as tears begin to swell up in her eyes. "Dante, damn you." Tears begin to fall. She climbs onto Tropius' back and he takes to action and flies out of the hole of the side of the ship. Unova is only a few miles away and she can see Driftvale City. She points in the direction and Tropius speeds up. She looks back at the ship as she gets further and further away. "Please, Dante, make it out of there. I can't lose you, too," Violet says through tears. And that is the end of Chapter 28. Please leave feedback and your thoughts in the comments below. It helps me grow as a writer so I know how to shape future stories for your enjoyment. Darius is either dead or missing, and Violet is safe but wasn't able to stop the Azrael Nova. It is all up to Dante now, but what will be the cost? If you enjoyed this video, please share this series around so others may enjoy it as well, and leave a like so I know you enjoyed it. Follow me on Twitter for updates on anything and everything Pokemon as well so when all my videos go live. The link to that can be found in the descriptions below. And as always, has been Black Phoenix. Thanks for watching, everyone.